Hello, my name is Marcus Ruiz Evans, president of Yes California and founder of the CalExit campaign in 2012. Recently, the CalExit members of the California Independence Movement have been going out to cities and regions across California to collect signatures for the CalExit initiative. They have had success in talking to Californians and collecting signatures in 8 different locations to date: San Leandro, Sacramento, Bakersfield, Fresno, Long Beach, Grass Valley, Humboldt County, and Riverside County. Additionally, activists in Del Norte County, San Diego County, and Marin County have requested signatures, and they are pretty sure they'll be able to collect people signing the initiative. That's 8 locations so far, with an additional 3 locations coming online soon due to requests from activists who want to get involved, for a total of 11 locations around California. That includes internal California, the coastal California, liberal areas, and conservative areas. People signed that petition. People were interested in California. And at each location, we found the same result. People may initially be skeptical. Oh, you can't do this. How could you pull this off? But after we show them that we're reasonable people and that we've looked at some of the basic issues, like we have the money to do this, there is a legal process to get permission to leave, everybody does this. They kind of cock their head back and go, well, yeah, we do kind of act like a separate nation, anyways. Everybody. People who came up to the table and thought this was a crazy idea, after a few seconds, their resistance just crumbled, and they would say things like, yeah, we kind of do things our own way. Yeah, we are kind of really weird. Yes, we kind of are a nation already, and that's right. We have the 5th largest economy in the world. They already know the facts. They have been programmed to think that you cannot engage in this concept. But once we gently push back in 8 locations across California, we found people just crumble very quickly, and they immediately say things like, I kind of know California already is a nation. I kind of know we could survive on our own. And yes, we have a very different culture, and we're almost like a foreign country already. So they already know it. They have been programmed to think those are not rational thoughts, but they think them. I've seen it in 8 cities. That proves the market's there. The people in 2017, February, according to Reuters Ipsos, the 32% of Californians who were interested in secession, plus the 15.5% who said they were open to the idea, for a total of 47.5% of Californians, February 2017, Reuters Ipsos, who said that they were interested in the idea of CalExit, is still there. We've gone out to 8 different locations, and we still find people who say, yeah, I still think about California being a nation. There'll be 3 more coming, and that's why I'm making this video. It's going to be very difficult for the CalExit movement to get all of the signatures that we need to qualify on our own. Rather, what we're doing is looking to 2 previous successful models of radical change through the initiative process here. One is marijuana and the other is LGBTQ. If you go back a few years ago, nobody thought marijuana would be legalized, and nobody thought 2 men or 2 women would be allowed to show affection to each other in the public. And yet both of those things are law, and everyone in California supports them. That happened through the initiative process. LGBTQ marriage was legal in California through the initiative process, and so was fully legal marijuana for recreational purposes. But it took 10 years for either of those initiatives to process. And it wasn't the first time. Those 2 groups, while having hundreds of thousands of supporters, had to file those initiatives multiple times. And it was only the 3rd or 4th time that they attracted a millionaire from a Silicon Valley tech firm. With LGBTQ, it was the founder of GeoCities. And with marijuana becoming legal through California initiative process, it was Sean Parker of Napster. I don't think it's a coincidence that you have tech millionaires who gave the final allotment of money to hire paid signature gatherers to put these ideas on the ballot. So let's think about that for a second. LGBTQ had a huge amount of supporters. It still took them 10 years, multiple initiatives, and they weren't able to get the signatures by themselves. So all the LGBTQ people and all of their supporters weren't able to qualify by themselves. Same thing with marijuana. This is California. They've talked about Cali weed for decades. They've rapped about it, etc. Hundreds of thousands of supporters, still not able to get the signatures they needed all by themselves. Took them multiple times, took them 10 years. And again, it was a millionaire who came in and bought the signature gatherers to put them over the top. We believe the same thing can happen with this idea. Just like marijuana and LGBTQ marriage, it's radical. We've been at it for a few years. We're working on our umpteenth initiative. And our plan is to show enough grassroots activism and signature gathering to convince one millionaire who works in the Silicon Valley industry to hire the signature gatherers to put us over the top. We don't think that's a sign of shame because marijuana legalization and LGBTQ rights are things Californians embrace. And everybody thinks it's like the way things have always have been, but it wasn't. Those were long-term struggles. Those were controversial ideas. And 10 years ago, people thought it was insane if you said LGBTQ marriage would become normalized and recreational weed would be allowed everywhere. That was considered insane. Now it's legal. Now the majority support it. And that happened through grassroots activism, not collecting all the signatures necessary, but showing that there was a market for this idea and that it was likely that you could get the votes. So the signature gatherers went out there, they kept protesting, they kept collecting signatures, they kept having events, they did it everywhere. And that inspired a millionaire to think that maybe if this thing went up and they got the full signatures, that it could go for a vote and that the vote would pass. And the vote did pass. So the activists did not collect the signatures. What they did was inspire a millionaire to donate the money and got that person, that investor, to think this is a good investment that will probably pass if it goes up for a vote. That's all we have to do too. And we're already doing it. So you're going to see photos coming out and videos. People with a table and 2 California flags like this. A plain table and 2 plain California flags. They taped them to that table. They went out and asked for signatures and they got them. Other people didn't even have that. They would just wear a California Pride shirt and gradually ask people in conversation as they ran into them. Other people didn't even have that. They had a clipboard and they stood next to an event booth and just struck up conversation with people that they could. Other people did get a tent and multiple flags and giant posters, and they too had success. But I want to point something out. The people who asked for petitions in their car while giving Uber rides, the people who went to a farmer's market and hung out at a friendly booth and just talked to people casually, the people who had only a table and 2 flags were just as successful as the group with the tent and the mini flags and the mini people and the loudspeaker and the posters. If you can get a table and 2 flags, if you can talk to people, you can get signatures and you can put another city on the map. And every single picture of a petition was filled out, and every single photo of someone leaning over to sign the petition is how we inspire that angel donor. This is all about inspiring a millionaire to donate that money. We believe it can be done because it's been done twice before here in California and on issues that people also thought were unachievable. It passed. These are workable models and they're relevant. We can do that too. We are doing it. We have 8 cities down, 3 more coming. But what I'd like to do is ask you as a Californian. I know COVID's here, and I know that Biden won the presidency, or that's what they said. But we were able to go out to 8 cities after Biden won and with COVID protocols and practicing social distancing and wearing masks and being respectful of people and not pushing it and still got signatures. So you can do it too. Some of you don't want to go out your house. Then don't go out your house. You told me, well, maybe I could put a petition outside my front door and email my neighbors or call them to come and sign it. That way they never entered my quarantine zone. That idea was brought up to us by one of our members who can't leave her house because she has elderly family members. Okay, that works. Other people live by themselves and they're willing to go out. And with a mask and social distance, talk to people who are comfortable with that. We certainly support the coronavirus protocols. We certainly want to be safe. And life still goes on. We've done it in 8 cities. We were able to get out there. We were able to be respectful, follow protocols, social distancing, mask wearing, and still get a conversation struck up. Sometimes we had a tent. Sometimes we had nothing but a shirt. Sometimes we didn't even have the shirt and just a charming smile, and it still worked. So that's my point. The market is there. We have proven the market is there, but we need to continue to prove it in order to inspire the angel investor. You can do that. I know many of you have conditions that you have to live with. Make it work. You can do this. You can get people to sign a petition. You can leave it outside your front door. You can go outside. You could stay indoors. You could table. You could not table. You could ask someone that you know to go outside and do that with whatever regional protocols you have. We can make this happen. The ability has been going on, and we have proven that even with Biden winning the election and even with coronavirus protocols, we can still do it. Now, it's tough, but our plan is to keep making a showing for that millionaire to invest the money. Last thing I need to point out is that there were two messages that worked very well at every single location. When we went to Bakersfield, I saw white middle-class conservatives agree to this message, and when we went to San Leandro, I saw minority urban citizens. Two very different demographics reply to the same message, and it goes like this. Hey, would you like to sign a petition to study how to keep federal tax money in California? Hey, would you like to sign a petition to study how to keep federal tax money in California? We ship our tax dollars to other states. Why can't we spend our money on our schools and roads? We're a donor state. That's it. That one message, I saw people who were conservative and people who were liberal and people who were mainstream and people who were super progressive and people who were conservative and people who were minorities all agree to that one message. Californians have the right to keep our money here, and it is okay for our government to study how to do that. Well, that's the CalExit initiative, and people backed it. The other message that we saw some traction to, wherever we went, goes like this. California likes to push back against the federal government on any issue, and people kind of smile and go, yeah, that's right. COVID protocols on how to allow people to go back outside and when to do that, marijuana, clean air, and climate change regulation, you name it, we always do our own thing regardless of what the federal government does. But we do it haphazardly. We kind of jump into it issue by issue. Why not plan ahead and do it the right way? Why not think ahead about the proper way to push back against federal authority so the next time we want to do it, we do it the right way? We're going to keep pushing back. We like doing that. But why should we do it clumsy? Why not think ahead and plan ahead? And why is it not okay for us to demand our government do that? Put it that way, most people said yes. So those are the two messages that worked in 8 cities. We think they'll work in the additional cities. And you can get out there and find Californians in your neighborhood who believe California is a nation and only need to be reminded by a neighbor that they are not alone.